Alright guys, we're recording.
Gang, gang.
So I'm going to start off with a basic building that you guys already know how to do. A lot of times the horizon line is lower on the paper than what you would think it would be. So I'm going to make it low on the paper. You guys can see that alright. Okay. And your two vanishing points, because this is 2-point perspective. And a building that you wouldn't see the top of it, like most buildings, unless you were in a helicopter or something, you would make the first line, the corner of the building, going on top of that horizon line. And then you have to make those 4 perspective lines, or converging lines, that go toward the vanishing point. If you do not want to do a ton of erasing, you can just make it as long as what you need it and then stop it, as long as it's lined up with that vanishing point. So there's 2 of the 4. Three of the 4. And 4 of the 4. And then, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So now I need to close those walls and erase some extra lines. These lines need to be vertical, going straight up and down, not slanted, because we are not doing 3-point or 4-point perspective. So that is a basic building, and then you would erase the horizon line inside of it, and if you made your perspective lines go all the way to the vanishing point, you would erase the extra parts of those. So there's basic building. You guys already know how to do. Now, if you want a roof that has any kind of pitch to it, as in not a flat roof, usually that's better anyways in construction. People do that so they don't have like water issues on the roof. There are a few different ways to do it. I'm going to show you how to make it where there's like a triangle on this side, and then it has the roof slanted right here. So the top part of like the triangle, you could guesstimate where it is by looking at your picture and what it looks like, or you can find the exact middle in perspective. So the way to find that in perspective, this wall is going to get an X on it. It's going to go corner to corner on the wall, because we're finding that middle point of the wall. Okay, so I just made that X. We know that this is the actual middle, even though it looks like this space is bigger than this space. It's in perspective. This would actually be the middle of the wall. So I'm going to make a line that extends up from that, so I know where I can put the point of the triangle. Let's make a big line. Okay, so you can kind of see this line right here. I can put the point of the triangle anywhere on here. If I make the point of the triangle really low, we're not going to see the roof slant because it's so little. If I make it a lot taller, you're definitely going to see the slant of the roof over here. So I'm going to make it really tall for you guys. And now I connect this back to the corners of the building, starting to make this like a regular house shape. So you see that? It's in perspective. It looks kind of funny right now. But now the slanted roof part that I want to draw, I got to not connect this point to the building, but connect this point to the vanishing point. So I line that up. Okay, I went ahead and drew it all the way there. It's not correct yet. I still have to make, there's going to be a line coming off this corner of the building. So it needs to be parallel to this line. Does that kind of make sense? Because in real life, this wouldn't be a weird shape. It'd be like a rectangular shape. And in a rectangle, you have certain parallel lines. And this would be one pair that you definitely need. So I'm going to look at that angle of line there and try to mimic it exactly, making a parallel line from that corner to the line that goes to the vanishing point. And then I'd erase my extra lines. And all these lines that helped me earlier. And there you have a building that does not have a flat roof. Now I heard somebody ask, can you show me how to make windows? Yes, I'll go ahead and show some windows and I'll make a door too. So I'm going to draw windows over here. Since this is on the left side, not the right side, it's on the left side, I'm going to go to the left vanishing point. If you're working on the right side of the building, you go to the right vanishing point. But I'm on the left. So I'm going to make how tall I want the windows. I'm going to make a line for that. So somewhere up there. And I'm going to make how far down I want the windows going. And this is a vertical line. It should not be slanted at all. Then how low I want the windows to go. Erase some extra line there. So I could have one big window like this, or I can chop it up into a bunch of little ones. So the thing to keep in mind, the spacing between them, you're going to have, the closer you are to that middle corner, the corner you started with of the building, the closer you are to that, the wider the windows are going to be. So my next window spacing should be a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. And this is just guesstimating. You don't have to get this exact. I'll do like one more. I'll also erase this extra stuff. And you could make it also like, if you wanted every other of these spaces to be a window instead of all of them being connected, you could do that. So I'll start erasing every other space, and then this one would get erased. So then I could have spaced out windows too. They don't have to be connected to each other. And then for a door, I'm going to put it on the right side of this building. The smaller you make the door, the bigger the building will seem. The bigger you make the door, the smaller it will seem. So if I made, I'm going to start with the left side of the door. If I made it really tall and made the top of it, since it's on the right side of the building, going to the right vanishing point, and then a vertical line going down. If I made a door that big, then this seems like it's probably some kind of shed or some kind of small building. But if you do those same steps, just smaller, so if I make a vertical line to start this off here, a lot smaller, and then I go to the vanishing point with the top of the door, and then back down with a vertical line. That seems like it's a way bigger building now. So don't just automatically make a big door on something. If you guys saw my example that's up here on the bulletin board, my Walmart looks really small because of how big my doors are. If I would have made a lot smaller doors on it, then it would have been more proportional. Pay attention to your picture that you're using and how big the doors are on it. If you're making a house, it might be a bigger door. If you're making some kind of business building, it's going to have a lot smaller doors and probably more than just one door. There'll probably be some on a few different sides of it. And probably a bunch more windows too. Anything else anybody wants me to demonstrate in this video? if you're doing any kind of siding or brick, make sure you're using the vanishing points. I also like to make sure that the spacing between the lines is the same, and you have a ruler, so you could actually measure on your center corner. I'm just going to do every 2 centimeters because I'm not going from a picture or anything. I'm just making something up. And then going from those tick marks, if I'm on the right side of the building, going to the right vanishing point. Same thing if you wanted like several rows of windows and you want them all to be the same height or spaced out the same, you could do the measuring too. Now I'm not making my lines go all the way to the vanishing point because that's a lot of extra erasing. So I'm just making it go from wall edge to the next wall edge. So then all those are spaced out the same. And then if it was like brick, you would stagger the spaces between. So you'd mark a line in every other space. And then the other spaces after you scoot the ruler over a little bit. And then back to the ones you started with. And these would get slowly closer and closer together too. So then it'd make a staggered brick look. I just made that look pretty easy and fast. Normally you're not going to have this big of brick with this small of door. I was just doing a fast demonstration. Can anybody think of anything else they would like to see? Do you want to see me make these windows look actually like they are, they have, like they're creviced inside? I can do that real quick. I'll go ahead and do it. But if you're imagining that this is an actual space instead of just like a flat window, but some kind of hole, then you're going to need 2 lines. They're going to be coming off of these left corners, going to the right vanishing point. Let me show you what that looks like. And if you're on the opposite side, you'd just be using the opposite vanishing point. And this one is really close to the horizon line, so it's going to be just a little tiny, a little tiny sliver. And that's okay. So now see how that opens it up? It seems like it's an actual space now, going back. And that doesn't have to go all the way to this edge. I could have stopped it early. So let me make a line where it would have stopped early. Erase that. And then I would have had another line coming from this vanishing point to finish out that little crevice space. So it's like this is part of the wall. This is kind of like part of a ceiling. It's up high. And then this would be like space where you see like, I don't know, someone approaching the window. Let me see my little person. Does it make sense as a 3D space now? They could walk in front of that little wall too. You guys can hide people in your windows or something, I don't care. There. Alright, anything else anybody wants to see?
Can you do chimneys?
Do what?
Chimneys?
Chimney, yes, I can. Okay, where do we want a chimney? A chimney is like a small building. It's, I got my cord all wrapped around. Hold on a second. Technical difficulty. There it goes. Okay. A chimney. So if I want to put a chimney like over here or something, you'd start with the corner of the chimney that's closest to you. And that's a vertical line, just straight up and down. Then it has the 4 perspective lines. So perspective means it's going toward a vanishing point. You can make this chimney as big as you want it, or as big as what you see it in your picture. And now make the rest of the four, so that would be 2 more going to this vanishing point. And then your vertical lines. And I just realized that I made a mistake. Oh my gosh, I made a mistake. But this would be if you saw the bottom of it. So I'm making a chimney that's not connected. I'll show you here what I was doing. So that would be one that is like totally missing the building. There are things that do come off weird and do not go straight up, but that's not really what I want for my chimney, unless I have the chimney going down. I'll erase this guy. I could make my chimney going down this side. That's like what normally chimneys do. And then you'd have the perspective lines coming off the bottom part of this. And then erase anything inside of it. That's a normal way that a chimney is. But if you have it coming out of here, just like straight out of the roof, it can get a little bit different. But know that the top of it is going to be going toward the vanishing points. And the bottom of it, I could have ended it with the edge of the roof on that wall. And then you wouldn't see the other corner because of the angle. But I could have just ended it where the edge of the roof was. Let me redraw this part of the wall. Yeah, I could have just ended it there. But, I think it, if you make it parallel with this edge, it looks more realistic. So let me do that real quick. Yeah, just adding that little tiny line right there. I like chimneys that come down the side of the building, but you can make it just coming out like that. And then if it was brick, if you're on the left side of the chimney, go to the left vanishing point to make your bricks. But I'm not going to go all the way through that again. Anything else anybody wants to see? Yeah.
For our chimneys, they came out like the top part of the roof.
Oh, the top part?
Yeah.
Let's make another chimney. So I'm going to do the top part of it. That's easy, going to the vanishing points. So I line it up with the dot, make it as big as it needs to be. And then for the bottom, it can be a little bit tricky. But I feel like it's best when you make the second line parallel to this roof line. And then finish out with vertical lines. If it's right in the center, you'll look at your picture and see how it looks different, but it's just wherever you're starting the thing. If it starts up here, I don't know if any actually do start right on the point. I think it would be somewhat behind it, but just look at your picture to know where to start. It's the same steps. Think about in real life what would be parallel, and this would be parallel to this part of the roof. these parts would be parallel to each other, so they would both be going toward the same vanishing point. Just keep that sort of thing in mind. Trying to think if there's anything else that I have left out. The top of this wouldn't necessarily be parallel to this, especially if the roof has a pitch, then this part would not be parallel to this. So that's why it's okay for them to be doing different things. But this side, it would be the same. Just think about the lines and how they are in real life. These would all be going left to right. So they'd all be going to the same spot. This would be going left to right, but this one would be totally slanted because of the slanted roof. I don't know if that helped at all, but it's really looking at your picture and where to start it. Anything else? Ending video.